A lot about the history of Oregon that I never. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Number of years ago, our instruction, hydrographic research guy. Okay, right. You were it goes west side. Yeah, there's some much. So no trail through it. It's a little bit. Those would be tricky. Yeah, anyway. Now. Right.
And spring coffee every single day. Like, right, I couldn't believe it. It's on the list.
Here.
Yeah. I wave at you every time I talk. Yeah. I try mine to say, but so then I have, because I'm going through the curtain. Yeah, especially if you get one treat.
Thank you.
Not being attention.
45. Yeah, they did.
Are you gonna? That's not fair.
Yeah.
I guess you won the pot last night.
I
did, well.
Yeah. Well, you know, and.
So do you want to be the sergeant? Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. Awesome.
Yeah. I got bad news though about the damn trailer.
No.
Yeah.
That-
I'm sorry.
Trailers.
Yeah. Great. Aaron has a like family event, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So all I can offer is my boat. Somebody has to pull it, but I mean, I can, you know, get it out of the water.
I know it might have helped because I noticed that it was.
It's a small 30 bar, but I mean, it'll work, you know.
It also might be obvious, if both bridges are. Using both ones, so we get directly one thing and then have time to launch. Ramp raise at one. We had a bunch of that last year. Yeah, but I mean, it was supposed to be like 1-2 or 1-3 or something. We were rushed for time last year. I wonder if we got some consideration.
Anyway, I just found this out yesterday, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's managing the corn booth? We'll find out. Nobody has volunteered. Rochelle.
So I'm gonna set up all the tasks put up on the website for people to register for time slots for everything and. But I didn't want to just start too early, put it up based on last year.
Yeah, I think it's time to pick someone to,
Yeah.
you know, be kind of in charge, not do all the work. Obviously.
Are we selling CoinQuest tickets?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna really focus on that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. Okay, theoretically that should work.
So we can hang out at the payment.
I know so.
Yeah, there's one just like that.
The granddaughter that.
I think this microphone, so he's got the wrong banner up again. Why is that?
Oh.
Yeah, where is that one?
Which was like 10 days. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think.
And then you go forward, it's like seeing it, insurance.
Okay. How long are you out? How long are you out here?
You want to give this one to Chris for his year, or should I make him quiet? You want to do that, or?
Yes, we. Nice to meet you. Yeah. You're our speaker today.
Okay. Yeah. A little better, still flat. Make up for
All I had was here. Yeah. Round up. We should make it formal. Oh, okay. We should make it formal.
Yeah.
I just.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's call to order and welcome everybody to my official first meeting.
You're under the spyglass.
I'm under something, that's for sure.
Not under the influence, though.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll join me in the four-way test of Rotary of the things we think, say, or do, emphasizing the words that are in bold. First,
Is it?
second,
Is it?
third, fourth, fifth.
Is it?
Here we go. Good job. President.
Yeah, well, thank you. And
Forgot already.
Can't find
She's not here.
Eileen's not here today. I've got it.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah, she's at another meeting, a conflict. So she sent me the quote. Because she wasn't sure what to do.
That was nice of her.
Very nice.
We all have two lives. The second one starts when we realize we only have one. Courtesy of Tom Hilton.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's a deep thinker.
Yeah, she gets in the deep thought.
yeah, that's a good one, actually. You know, there's one, I forget it now, but it's scroll down on the webpage. And it's an incredibly good statement. And anyhow, well, next time you're there, scroll down a little bit and look for some of the stuff near the bottom of the pages. Some pretty neat stuff there. All right, do we have any guests here?
Go ahead, Christine, introduce.
Oh, did I lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Brad, he's my general manager at ACE, and I invited him on.
Awesome.
Round of applause for that.
Yeah,
Online.
all right. I think we've got our speaker online.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Good morning.
Bill Tobin, correct? Yeah, there, you can see it on your screen there. That's great. And you'll be doing a presentation today about shelter box, as I understand.
Yes, I will. It's great to be here. Feel like I was just here a couple weeks ago.
All right, well, we're
You'll
looking.
want to share the screen. instead.
Yeah, I know. I'll make sure you can share your screen when the time comes. It should be.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Okay, looks like everybody else is familiar there. Yeah, okay. All right. Got some birthdays coming. This has actually been kind of a busy week, and it's almost like 2 weeks. But birthdays, we've got Jim Hagan. It's his birthday week, I guess you could call it. And Johanna's as well. Correct? All right. Hey, I had to build a spreadsheet and input all the birthdays in such a way that I could sort them.
Of course you did.
And it took a while. It's really hard to sort dates in Excel for some reason. It just
Club
doesn't.
Runner already does it.
What was it?
Club Runner already has it, so.
Well, I know, I decided I looked for it, I couldn't find it. It took me longer to find it maybe than to build it. Okay, we've got some anniversaries too. Brett Daly and Chris Jacobson for anniversaries. And we've got one Rotary anniversary, Lauren.
Oh.
And it's a few years ago, right?
Earl. 1987, I joined Rotary.
That's a good time to join Rotary.
What's that?
Good, well, congratulations.
56 years, Lauren?
Wow.
Perfect attendance.
That's something I could add to my spreadsheet, was I could take the year and then automatically generate the number of years. You know, throw that little tidbit out there. Now that it's in the spreadsheet, I can do anything. That Club Runner doesn't already do for me. Okay, so announcements. First of all, thank you everybody for your participation. There's many of us put a lot of work into our event last Friday, and I thought it turned out really well. And it was pretty fun, pretty exciting. And a good
Food was
turnout.
outstanding.
Yeah,
That was.
I thought it was. Yeah, yeah, a lot of fun too. We have our board retreat this Tuesday. And as I mentioned to the board, we're going to have a kind of an abbreviated one this year, and it's going to be at my place. It starts at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. So looking forward to seeing the board there. And it's going to coincide with the normal fireside. It'll also be at my house this Tuesday. so that we can kind of merge a little bit. We'll have, the board will have some time to talk about goals and that type of thing. And then it'll be a great opportunity for anybody else that wants to normally would be at the fireside to kind of merge in, and we might have some things to kind of throw out as far as ideas and get some feedback that way. So that's the plan. Should be nice weather. It'll be outside. There is a fire table. And I probably won't need it, I'm guessing, but maybe if it goes on late enough, then we'll get to that point. But it should be fun. Just a reminder, we have a farmers market Wednesday this week. And we have a sign up, I'm sure, for that. And hopefully, do we have?
Brian hasn't done that yet.
We haven't. Oh,
Brian should have done.
okay. Well, if anybody is able to help with that. And I'm assuming we're setting up for it again this week, right?
Yeah.
So the normal hours to participate, there's 2 shifts. Typically, one starts at 2:30 was set up. The event starts at 3. And then we have the later shift that is what, 5 o'clock typically. Yeah. And then that would go to like 7 p.m. Involves some takedown and that type of thing. So be thinking about that, and when we do get a sign up, please sign up if you possibly can. One other announcement: the Creator Zone is having a pre-opening fundraiser on July 20th at 6 to 9 p.m. $45 a head. And you can sign up for it at their website. There's pretty clear links, through their websites. But again, that's July 20th. So let's give them some support. We also have a blood drive coming up in August 11th here, and it'll start at noon. Probably, I'm assuming it'll be very similar to the ones we've done previously, and it's a convenient way to do that if we can. And there is seemingly a lot of demand this year. I know I keep getting reminders from the Red Cross that, they're, please come. And maybe they just do that all the time, but I haven't noticed it this intensely in previous years. So might be a very good thing to do. Little bit of hard news. Joyce Bell is in the hospital. Just found out last night that she actually fell during the 4th of July and had to go to the hospital. She's communicating and everything, but she's unable to walk. So hopefully that won't be a long-term issue, but it's one reason why she's not here right now. All right, well, let's go to officers' reports. And how about treasurer?
Let's see. First of all, dues are due for the next 6-month cycle. But people have paid already. I'll probably try to get invoicing done by the next Friday. And so if we can get paid sooner the better. We've spent a lot of money in the club account in the last month or so, various things. And so we couldn't use more money in there. Yeah, we keep spending money and not pulling money in. I got a bunch here, but on the plus side, for corks and kegs, right now with what I got today, I think we're around 17,000 roughly. So we're moving right along. That's been pledged.
Mhm.
And about maybe 11,000 collected already.
Wow.
So we're doing pretty good on that. Obviously, we'd like to get closer to 38,000 we were last year. So obviously, there's still ways to go, but
Yeah. Yeah, keep working on
I
that.
think that's it for the moment.
That's good news. Gary, how about a secretary?
And your installment dinners, you haven't paid for
Yeah, please do, remember if, you haven't,
Very late too. but-
What's that? I don't know if you can-
I have some.
I've got some.
Yeah.
I think I've got some. Yeah.
Thank you.
Here you go.
It's in the vehicle. But now you got one.
You done, Jack?
I think so, why not? Unless you want to tell a bad joke.
No, I'm not gonna tell a bad joke.
I could tell you really bad.
Our next board meeting is on July 18th, and I'm not sure where you want to do it at, so we haven't talked about that, whether we do it at Brian's or some other place. There's another thing that's gonna happen right now. I'm going to send around 2 sympathy cards. One is for Brian and Cassie because of the loss of Cassie's mom due to a tragic accident in Texas 2 days before they were getting ready to leave. I don't know, Rochelle talked to Brian last Friday and the father was doing a little bit better. Not anymore. So that's one card. The second card is a little bit more emotional for me. Jim Steinreich lost a son-in-law. And if you've known the Steinreich family, that is one very, very close family. We failed to send any flowers. We failed to send any letters. I talked to him. I sent stuff. Chris did and a couple others. And it has affected Jim and his family tremendously. I've had several conversations with him. He's taking a 6-month leave of absence. So yesterday, while I was having a fairly decent round of golf, I kept thinking about what can I do to rectify it? Because quite frankly, this was my job to make sure that we should have gotten something done. A few of us had gotten together, thought somebody was going to do it, and we let it fall through the cracks. Kevin went to the funeral or the memorial with Nancy. And I think that that was the only one that went there.
Jim Hagan.
And Jim. And there were 500, apparently around 500 people, according to Jim, the last time I talked to him. Essentially, what I'm saying is our club failed you. We're sorry. We hope that you will accept this apology. So I would like everybody to sign it. If you want to say something in it, you can. But it's just my way of thinking. Don and I and Chris talked about this yesterday, and maybe it's not enough, but it's a start to at least acknowledge that we made it here. So that's my little deal. Jim has been in my thoughts for a long time. I've reported on what has happened through the process with his son-in-law. And so very sad that this happened. That's it.
Ron, do you have president-elect? Anything to report?
Let's see. No, I have, Aquafest is coming around the corner. So we need to get on, getting our sponsorships. Like I think Don just mentioned, we're, need to get working on that. We got, the corn booth, Rochelle and Tracy are doing that. I think she's got a great plan. So if she wants to say anything about that, she can. Probably at our retreat, maybe we'll spend some time talking about some other things for Aquafest. James got us signed up for the parade, so we got a float, we got to decorate, so we'll have to organize that as well. So I am on a walkabout for a bit, so I will be back in town soon.
All right. Well, thank you.
Maybe it's a good time for me to announce.
Yeah, we can jump ahead to you. But Brian would, he's not here anyhow. I can see him on the screen. So go ahead, Linda.
So speaking of the float, I am sorry to say that my son-in-law's float is no longer available for his truck to pull it. So I can only offer my boat but somebody has to pull it. He had a family event come up and they're gonna be out of town, that's, that can't be helped, so. I'm
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
So we need to scramble and either get another trailer, somebody to pull it, or we could use my boat. That's that announcement.
anybody have any ideas?
I've got a big truck, I'd be happy to pull it.
Okay, so you could do the pulling side of it.
We'll have to do a screening back.
It's not a big boat, it's a small pontoon, so it's not like it's massive or heavy or anything, so.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about it before, the possibility that we could try again to have the boat in the parade, the street parade. Timing wise, it was a big frustration last year, just timing wise. To get the boat in the water and over to Davies Beach in time for the 4 o'clock start of the water parade. And they're both really important. It's amazing, if you go on the boat parade, how many people around the lake are eagerly waiting for that parade to come by. So we definitely want to do both. Hopefully the fire department won't make everybody too wet before we get there. That's been a,
No guarantee.
yeah.
If
that's
they don't,
been a-
we will.
Yeah. So let's ponder that maybe for another week. I think we need to make a decision. And I do think that I've thrown out the idea of having multiple boats because we do have a lot of them on the lake, but I haven't had really a lot of enthusiasm show up about that. So I'm thinking we should stay with just one boat, and yours would be great, for the floating parade. So that we can focus our decorating efforts, on one vessel.
Okay.
And then let's think about the street side and see if we can come up with any alternative trailers on that side.
Do we have the decorations that were on Marcus's boat still? Are they in the shed?
Yeah. Has anyone ordered water balloons?
Nope.
I'll order.
Make sure they're very, very environmentally friendly.
I do every year. Wait,
Good.
how do you find environmentally friendly water? I have a secret source. Well, no, I'm just curious, do they still, are they biodegradable? I've not scientifically tested them, but they say that they're biodegradable. Because I knew someone was gonna come at us, years ago, right? So I searched and found them. Do they work? I don't know, but it says in the promotional advertising,
Michelle's committed for the next 60, 70 years to watch. So.
Yeah.
It's my favorite event of the year. I love that one. So, we're gonna be well armed this year.
All right. So we probably should throw some of those balloons into the garden and see if they last,
I
the
don't feel like.
regular ones probably last 40 years. I think we're
Need the go with hat,
What's your half
liability.
environmentally friendly might mean they're gone in just 10 years. Yeah, and then there's always other potential sources of water too. We found out that there's one kind of boat you don't want to throw water balloons at last year. Like last year, we made the mistake. It was just this innocent looking little boat going along with a family in it. Threw a couple of water balloons. And they had it figured out. It was a jet boat. So they just politely kind of rotated around and they got everybody in the front of the boat. So the nozzle was kind of like, holy cow. Yeah, so. Yeah, that was a bit of a eye opener or eye closer as the case may be. All right, so next week, let's have a plan. And if anybody has got any other ideas for the street parade, a trailer that might be available or whatever, let me know. Otherwise, we'll have to get on it. Okay.
So let me just say about my international piece of it, if you don't mind, just because.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got actual business to talk
So
about.
I don't really, but because we have so many new people, I kind of thought I might explain our international group, which is called IPA, International Project Alliance. We did have a speaker on it the other day, so maybe some of you newer people saw that, but we are part of 13 Rotaries in the Pacific Northwest that sponsor villages in Copan, Honduras. And so we pay for their kids' schooling, we supply the library, we fix bathrooms, we do many projects. And beyond that, we have helped them start a coffee bean processing plant and build some wells and this and that. So that's what the IPA is when you hear me talk about it. And you can look them up online and see how to sponsor. 7 of us, I think she said a few weeks ago, sponsor students. It's a 3-year commitment of $250 a year, I believe. They changed it a little bit. So it's a good thing, and they are doing really good things down there, teaching them how to garden, how to, you know, start their own banks. They've started some credit unions amongst themselves so they can borrow their own money and be self-sustained. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Can we go visit?
Absolutely. Twice a year at least, we are all invited to go visit if you want to go. One of them is more of a sightseeing trip, and then one of them is a working trip. So I'll be announcing that all along. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, so you can plan on that if you want to go.
Sounds like people enjoy it a lot. Ones that have gone,
Yeah,
on it, that would be very interesting.
I don't know where Angie is, but the scuba diving down there, I guess, is phenomenal. So.
Well, maybe we should take your party boat down there,
Right.
We can leave the decorations on it. including the
Anybody got a
Vikings
big enough plane to haul it down there?
stuff. No, we'll have to cruise it down. Take an extra 5-gallon can of gas with us just in case.
Copan's right in the middle of the.
Well, at least tonight. It is.
Yeah. All right, Kyle's not here regarding membership, but I think it's safe to say membership's going really well. Got a few new folks that have submitted or are submitting applications. Thanks to Eileen, and looking forward to that. Okay, vocational services. Kristen, do you have anything on the Interact site?
Nothing really from Interact because we're a little break right now, but Josie's in the process of booking her ticket, so that's pretty exciting. And hopefully everything is getting worked out with Pablo coming here. So lots of excitement.
Great, thank you.
I've got a brief thank you card for a scholarship if you would allow.
Please.
All right. So every now and then we get thank yous for scholarships that we give. And so this one is from Jack Johnson. And he says a very sincere thank you to all the members of Rotary who gave me the opportunity to receive one of your scholarships. I'm immensely inspired by the people you are and have greatly enjoyed meeting and interacting with many of you throughout the following scholarship process. So I guess we made a good impression. That's great. You have my eternal gratitude for whatever amount of money that we gave him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's nice to get a little feedback like that. The amount of effort and money and, yeah,
It's a lot of work.
okay.
Yeah.
James or Chris, do you, anything on Scouts? Scouts, anybody, or anything to report?
No, I think they're still going pretty good. They're getting ready to go to summer camp, so that's kind of underway. I think we're still trying to pull together the pack. It's kind of dwindling down. It's not consistent thing, but so we're working at that. So same stuff. And I think maybe I'll have to reach out and see once they're back from camp, maybe just before school starts, maybe they can come and speak. That was senior control leader come in and talk about. Yeah.
Where are they going to start?
Camp Pioneer.
Where's that one?
It's in Oregon.
Kendra, how about programs?
Excited to hear Bill talk today about Shelter Box. It sounds like a great program. And I'm also Laura Lee, who works with the CASA organization in Washington, which is the, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess up this acronym, but it's they're the special, special advocates, right? So they step in court cases for children who are victims of abuse, and basically they need an adult there to help guide them. They don't have a safe adult. So, so she's gonna speak on that. I also, I'm still trying to nail down beeline organics for a beekeeper to come. And we have our very own Chief O'Brien coming in October. Yeah.
Thank you, know that.
I hope you're aware.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
No, thank you so much.
All right.
Her name's Laura Lee Gomez. Oh, really? Oh.
And as usual, if anybody has got any good ideas or contacts out there that you think would be an interesting presenter, let Kendra know, and we'll get it booked. As far as next week, we have a gap next week.
I'll get it.
Okay, we still have that video that we can use, but we can use that as a filler, a last minute with a little bit of a gap.
District governor has a 3-minute one too.
It's a what?
3-minute video you just put up the district governor.
Oh, okay. Our new one?
You will, I will give Kendra Lee Harmon's contact information. Lee is takes his model Ford, or I don't know if it's a Ford or not, but takes his model car and does a lot of, he did the China trip. And now he's doing the one that starts up in, I think it's Anchorage and
Yeah.
goes on down.
We did before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had it there, but Dave Duskin recommended that maybe when he gets done, that we call him up. He's, I think, asking for, he's hoping each Rotarian will give $76. And it goes to Polio Plus. So he does this amazing trip every once in a while. I'm surprised the car can make it.
Yeah.
As much money as I put into my T-Bird, I'm surprised that this is still running, but anyway.
There are some flyers on the back, just for sure. You should have some flyers for
Oh, for the walk?
Yeah, for the polio plus.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Model A Ford. Gary.
okay.
Rand, do you have anything on public image?
Not at all, thank you.
Okay.
That's almost as quick as Jim Hagan's report.
Well, we got a busy couple weeks coming up on that side, that's for sure. And everybody with the Aquafest committee is real excited about the screen, and he's kind of tuned in.
Our
on that.
club will get a lot of exposure on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of exposure.
yeah.
Did you
So-
say your club? Our club. Okay.
Yeah. And, again, content ideas. If anybody has ideas or photos or short videos of things, please share them with Rand or me as soon as possible, so that, as we figure out what's going on. But it sounds like there'll probably be a lot of live shots, a lot of bands, playing both Friday and Saturday night. So that'll be kind of fun. Probably they'll get a lot more coverage that way with people wandering around the grounds, so to speak. So, and then a lot of sporting events, both on the water and 3-on-3 basketball and a lot of cool stuff. All right, Sergeant at.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everybody. Everybody got their raffle tickets? Too late. I have our newest member, draw. The red one. Last 3 numbers are
229.
229. 229.
Yeah. Nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
one of our newer members. All right, sir, you get to draw a yellow duck out of there that has a W on it. You win. How much?
$45.
Oh. Thank you. All righty, who's happy today?
Better ask you again.
I guess. Who's happy? Yes. I'll dispense with fines to give our speaker enough time, so.
That would be.
Good morning, everybody online there. Ron, are you happy?
Yep, I'm in my happy place, so I'm inside now because it's already 90 degrees outside, so it's supposed to be close to 100 today, so.
Oh, that sounds
Uh,
happy.
Well,
Golf,
bring a
had a
little
few
more
rounds of
warmth.
golf, so happy.
Awesome. Bring a little more warmth, but leave the smoke.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. And Kristen, are you there?
No.
Not really. All right. Joelle, are you happy?
I'm happy. I'm always happy.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Mr. President.
4th of July was a lot of fun, but I'm happy it's over.
All right. Good deal. Speaking of which, your department was probably very busy.
One of the busiest we've ever had.
I heard that. I was monitoring.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
It was nuts.
It wasn't.
Yeah, and actually, between Monroe, Lake Stevens and the Clearview area, Lake Stevens actually was by far the busiest. It was. Yeah.
Not in a good.
I know, actually, a young male took a mortar in the eye.
Oh.
And we're not sure how his eye is. And then there were two house fires, actually 3 house fires. So it was kind of it was a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house fire
Started by fireworks? Actually, 2 were started by fireworks. 1 may have, we're not sure. Yeah.
Nice.
But you know, as beautiful as it is, and you know, but it was just, it's tough. It's just tough. Yeah.
People get carried away.
I remember the year you started with us, you were out there running around the groups.
Yeah,
Did you do that again?
I did. I was down here at Station 81. And it's really, it's weird. I like firemen. Who doesn't like fireworks? But then you see the other side, the damage done. It's like, it's hard.
Well, and my wife will mention the fact that those 2 people lost their lives in my terrace.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
Hi, Lance.
Hello. Happy that 4th is over to fireworks for out of control.
Yes. Amazing. Same. Did you see it?
Yes, I don't need any more bombs.
Hey.
My hearing's bad enough already.
What?
What?
So I'm putting 11 happy bucks in because my nephew, who's 10 years old, from Alaska, was chosen to be, he's an amazing hockey player and he's on the Western Selects teams, which is the western half of the United States. And they're playing right now in a Canadian tournament that has like the top 100 players of the US and Canada playing. And he's number 11. So
And
that's
he's
why
10 years old.
he's 10 years old and they're on TV, they're on ESPN.
When they play, is it a full-size hockey rink?
Yeah, yeah.
Have the tips gone after him yet?
No, but he's hoping for NHL. I don't
How
know.
about the Kraken?
Yeah.
Happy all been going to get for the happy bucks. Yeah.
I'll put 11 in for Mr. 11 there, that's good, and we had a wonderful 4th of July.
You have a great week.
I did, it was fantastic.
I understand the North Cove party was really.
It was the best ever.
Yeah.
The worst ever is depending on Kevin's perspective.
Good deal.
5 happy, 1 for Joyce, 1 for Jim Steinreich and his family, and 1 for Brian and his family.
Where are those cards?
Coming around.
Make sure I get them back so I can.
Yeah. 56 years perfect attendance?
Well, I'm happy about something else. I've got a robot that is working on my lawn.
Yes.
And it is busy out there right now, mowing the front, the back, and the side lawns.
And you're here.
And I'm here to talk about it.
And it's competing with your Tesla.
You had to bring it up.
Yes.
That's funny. Robot got you here.
Well, I have the robot.
Good deal. All right.
I'm happy to see all these new people here since I've been in attendance.
Yes.
Awesome.
need a robot to replace you.
No,
Yes. So, I threw in 50 happy bucks and tickets. Just a couple things, sorry, I've been here for a while, been super busy, crazy busy work. But happy to be here and happy to see Christine and new members and welcome to the club. Super cool. And then I want Gary, you threw yourself under the bus about the gift. And I don't think you bear that responsibility. I think we all do. I feel the same way as you. When I talked to Jim, I was like, you know, I could have brought it up at the club, you know, but so it's not on you. And I bet you that the love that we're sending to Jim and his family, and then anything that we can do to reach out to him, I bet you he'll be back. He's a Rotarian and he's going through a tough time. And like, you know, and we all have ups and downs in life, but I bet you Jim will be right back here in about 6 months.
I'll
So,
see him at 9 o'clock.
okay.
All right.
I'm not giving him the card, I'm mailing him the card. I'm seeing him for another reason, for a storage unit.
Oh, good, good.
And then,
One more quick happy buck. Tula and I are gonna go catch the water taxi to Orcas Island, and I get to see my little husky and my mom this weekend. There you go.
Speaking of moms, how's Nancy?
Nancy's mom's doing very well. Thank you for asking. She rallied. There you go.
I'm happy that my house didn't burn down this year.
Yeah.
And fire department members, we never had putting on fire for fireworks, so. It was.
Donnie was watching out.
So I'm happy, this is a shout out to Lake Stevens Arts and Parks Foundation. We're doing a fundraiser to put a tile mural near the splash park or splash pad in North Cove Park. And so we're selling metal fish. And you get them in 3 different sizes. You can get them engraved with your business name, your family name, in memory of whatever you want to put on there. They're 12, 16, and 20 inches, $100, $200, $300 donation. And then they're going to be installed on the opposite side of the wall by the splash park. So our theme is leave your legacy in Lake Stevens, and then all the money goes right back into our parks. So anybody who wants to brochure, you can do it online. You can call, email, smoke signals, whatever you want to do. And buy a fish. Highly recommend it. Fish are totally in. Awesome. I know you want one. For sure.
These fish are never seen.
There you go.
Yeah, they're super cool. I'm gonna, of course, get one.
And Arts and Parks was rocking the booth the other day at the market. The market was busy, busy, busy. So, Mr. Past President.
Yes, thank you for that, and I'm having a great term, and I'm just happy that all new members are showing up and everything like that, and it's gonna be a fun time for Aquafest.
Thank you. All right. Gary.
well, I was with, Joyce, on July 4th, she had her annual celebration, so I was there until 6:30. I went to one party, and then I went to Don's party. And so she must have fell after I left, because she was sitting up on her deck and taking care of all of the people that were there. So it's too bad that she fell. Happens, I guess.
I'm happy today is on Friday. And this is $2 is from the time. So, if I know.
That's great. All right.
All right.
I'm thankful that Lori Westover is doing better. She's been pretty much under the weather the last couple of weeks, and it was kind of odd. They still don't really know exactly what I think her issues are, but she's still under the weather. She's still not doing really well, from what I can see. Finally getting some energy, but yeah. So anyway,
Is she taking phone calls or?
I don't know.
She's making texts.
Yeah, she's taking text. I think it's probably better. She's still pretty tired. Some days are better than other days, so she's still pretty tired.
Okay.
So 2 more things, I hate to interrupt you.
Oh, hang on, take a number.
I got a number right here.
Mr. Warren's next.
We need to send, sorry, I didn't send flowers to Lori, so let's get that sunshine thing going again. And then a card to Joyce. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta get better at that. All right, my fault.
I think this should be a topic at your board retreat,
Yes.
right? Because we have always been very good about sending flowers if it was immediate person in their family, but I think maybe we need to drop down a couple levels and include, be more inclusive.
I would say you guys sent me flowers and I wasn't even a Rotarian member. And those were the very first comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, wrapping up here, I'm happy. Friday, we're busy. I'll be holiday next week. As you might recall, a couple weeks ago, Angie and I went to the train in Santa Barbara. We had a great time, so I missed the rolling out of the money, and it was great and supporting our community. And looking forward to Bill's presentation. He's the president.
All right, Bill, you're on.
Oh, I have an
Hey,
introduction.
thank you very much.
Oh, you have an
I
introduction.
do have an
Okay,
introduction.
Kendra's got an introduction.
Okay, while she's doing that, if you could enable the screen sharing, that'd be great.
I think you can go ahead and do it now.
No, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Well, yours doesn't agree with ours. One participants. Okay, let's see what happens. Try that.
There you go. Thank you very much. So take it away on the introduction of me.
All right. Okay, so a member of the Rotary Club of El Dorado Hills, California since 2004, Bill Tobin has served in several club and district roles and is a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. In 2016 to 2017, Rotary District 5180 awarded Bill Rotarian of the Year for his active and dedicated service to Rotary and his commitment to Shelterbox. Since learning about Shelterbox in 2010, Bill has shared the Shelterbox story with over 400 Rotary Clubs, sorry. For his volunteer efforts with Shelterbox, Bill received the United States Presidential Volunteer Service Award 7 times.
Wow.
Bill is a keynote speaker and training facilitator for Rotary Pets, district conferences, and zone institutes. Bill has organized Shelterbox fundraisers and developed strategies for donor engagement and volunteer training. After retiring from a 30-year career as a nuclear power plant inspector, Bill became certified in nonprofit management through the University of the Pacific and joined the full-time staff at Shelterbox as Rotary Relations Manager in January 2019. Bill's married to Sherry, who's also active in Rotary, and they've been married for 39 years. Bill, do you want me to say the bit about Shelterbox too?
No, I think I'll fill that part in pretty
Okay,
well.
I figured.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. It's the most recent one I've had, and it felt good. To get on with the presentation, first I want to say thank you. You guys made a donation very recently, and it certainly helps us fulfill helping as many people as we possibly can around the world when disaster strikes, and that's a really large number. So quick jazz hands if my screen sharing and everything's okay in the room there. Great, thank you. You guys have great sound too, by the way. I got to give you props for that. I could hear every single one of the happy dollar donations. That was well acoustic. There's 114 million people displaced in the world right now, but out of that number, only 1 in 4 are displaced due to a storm or an earthquake or landslides or tornadoes or what have you. The other 3 out of every 4 are displaced due to something that's truly entirely preventable, and that's conflict. And as we look forecasted over the next 30 years, we see that it's going to only get worse. There's more people displaced by conflict right now than the entirety of World War I and World War II combined. And that number is expected to grow along with changing climate patterns and storm intensities and population growth. We are anticipating 200 million people displaced by 2050. So Shelterbox is a global charity. We provide shelter and other materials, household items. We don't do food, no medicine. There's other organizations that do those quite well. We focus on shelter and tools and household items like blankets, water filters, so that the water you may have access to won't make you sick, mosquito netting, and lots of other things. I don't have time to go into like 100 items, even mattresses, little 4-inch thick mattresses to get you up off the cold ground. We're active right now in 12 countries. The colors you see on the map here represent different phases of a response. We may be doing some assessment work, or we could be doing the actual deployment of aid, or we may be doing monitoring and or evaluating our performance. So there's a lot of different aspects of what we do. And there could be several where there's 2 projects running concurrently. Now, it took us 15 years to reach our first 1 million people, and then just 5 years to reach the second 1 million. And our current pace, last year, we assisted over 420,000 people. So we're right at about the 2-year mark for reaching our third 1 million people. We anticipate that to happen sometime in the next 12 months. So that pace isn't slowing down. And so we really had to look at our strategic goals, which once was rooted in numbers of boxes and families help. Now, I think we could sum it up by doing more, doing it well, and doing it together. We need to scale up. We aren't keeping up with the increase of people displaced, and we're just a small part of that percentage that we're able to help. So we need to do more. We need to really minimize things like environmental impact. We've removed 250,000 pieces of single-use plastic from our supply chains over the last 3 years. So that's a big shift for us of really taking on the environment and how can we protect it and not be a contributor to the causes that are changing some of the climate patterns that we see around the world. So reducing our carbon footprint. And to do that, because we aren't a large organization, we have to do it together. And we have to work with building our global teams. I've got a great example of that global team network coming up later in the presentation. So I want to take just a moment and kind of review what a disaster timeline looks like and where we operate. The key really to a rapid response, say after the earthquakes in Turkey recently, is being prepared, having the pre-positioned aid around the world so that we minimize the procurement time and the transportation time. We get straight to the distributions. When a crisis occurs, that's when we see the increases in donations. Well, unfortunately, we kind of need that money about 6 months before a crisis occurs, but we aren't fortune tellers. We don't know, we can't foresee the future and where it's going to happen and when it's going to happen, but being prepared creates a concept of where we could get out there quicker and we have a better impact. So the most impact in the shortest amount of time, we need to have that funding in place before a major disaster strikes. That's proactive giving, and that's a great way of clubs participating, is not waiting for the headline to happen, but making sure we're prepared before that next disaster strikes. I know there's a lot on this slide. I'm just going to kind of give you a summary real quick. The theory of change, that's been around for about 25 years now. We incorporated it into our operations several years ago. It's our guiding conscience, and it represents the key principles for both an accountable and a locally led humanitarian response. We need to do it together, and we have been doing it together with local teams for several years. Things like inputs, those are the resources that we can contribute towards a response or an intervention. The activities are our actions. Outputs are items like tents and tarps and tools. The outcome is the result of that intervention, and the impact is the long-term contribution. What's the changes we've made? Are they now more resilient for the next storm season? What's that long-term consequence is the impact. And that's really in a nutshell what the theory of change is all about. I know clubs in the Rotary Foundation has adopted theory of change recently for adherence to as guiding principles, the framework of it in all global grants. So clubs that are doing global grants are now learning more about the theory of change. Okay, now a lot of new members, I understand, and that's great. So you may or may not already know that Shelter Box was the project of one Rotary Club in the year 2000, and now it's grown to this incredible global affiliation of charitable help. And many of you may know that now we've helped over 2.5 million people, and we'll be close to that 3 million in the next few months probably. And some of you may know that we've twice been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for our work in Syria. But now here's 5 things you may not know about Shelter Box. First is our regional procurement plans. We look for regional suppliers near areas of disaster for the aid items that they may have available that we use. Blankets is a great example because they're manufactured locally everywhere in the world. And things like tents as well, and tarps. And we have found that where it's possible, when we could shorten our supply lines and our response times, we also are then, because we're procuring locally, helping a local economy get back on its feet. Now, we do have a vetting process. We just don't go rambling down to whoever we find. We want to make sure they're reliable and safe to work with before we enter any contracts with suppliers. The tent you see in this picture was what we deployed. The majority of the tents that we deployed in Turkey, and they were manufactured. And we have a supplier that manufactures a lot of our aid items in Turkey, in Gaziantep. So really an example of Gaziantep was not far from the epicenter. Fortunately, their factory and their factory workers, nobody was harmed, and the factory wasn't damaged to the point to where it needed to shut down. So it was a big asset for our relief efforts in Turkey recently. Excuse me. The appropriate shelter. Most people who've seen a shelter box display at a pets or a district conference or the convention has only seen one tent of many different tents that we use. That would be the one in the lower right portion that was recently in Pakistan after flooding there, and that family you see there received the tent you see behind them there. But we do a lot of different types of things beyond tents. We have several different tents we could use. We do leveling and concrete foundations in several areas represented in the upper left there. You can see that's where localized rains create flood conditions. It's not feet of water, but it's inches of water. So by raising building a perimeter and putting a concrete slab in there, it's keeping families more resilient towards their seasonal types of disasters. And that picture is from Syria. Also, you can see how tarps could be used to manufacture structures or reinforce structures or replace structures entirely. And then in the upper right corner is a mud brick home. We do these in Cameroon, and we're also starting to do more permanent shelter elsewhere. It's interesting, that'll last decades. And the cost of everything you see there, including the metal roofing and the mud brick and all that, is about the same as a tent. So in Cameroon, we've been distributing tents for several years for people displaced by Boko Haram violence in Nigeria. But we'd have to either put tarps over those tents or replace them every 2 years because of the environmental damage on a tent. There's no magic formula to avoid that. So for the same price, to be able to do more permanent structures, it just makes sense. We pre-position our aid, another thing you may not know. And in the past, many years ago, the old timers in the room probably remember it was all in Cornwall, England. The Rotary Club bought it all from donations and stored it there and then would ship it somewhere after disaster. That wasn't the most efficient plan because there were an unnecessary middleman really to have it in Cornwall, other than we packed all the boxes there. And now, when it's pre-positioned around the world, it's sent on pallets. The packing of any materials for a family is going to be at the point of distribution. And we learned that that's mainly because family size could create quite different needs within the same community. I mean, you can look around the room, there's probably people who have a very small size family, and there's probably people who have a very large family, and those needs after disaster will be quite a bit different. We have 5 locations where we do that around the world. And then it might not come in a box anymore. We don't really call them anything, but they're shelter bags as far as I'm concerned. They're like sandbags. In fact, they are sandbags. You could buy sandbags just like this, the 40-gallon, I think they are. And they could hold more material. They're more durable, actually, than these plastic boxes. And they're easier to pack. They're also quite a bit cheaper to ship around, so it's saving us money on that end, and it's making life a little bit easier for families like the lady you see here, a recent picture here from Ethiopia. And then SBOP, it's not a pop group, it sounds like one, but SBOP is an example of what we are trying to continue to do. I think our next adventure will either be in the Caribbean or it will be in Africa, but it's a complete operations center. SBOP is Shelter Box Operations Philippines. It is on the island of Cebu. Since implementation, we've seen response times. We've knocked an entire month off of start to finish of a response there. It's also quite a bit less expensive because we do have local warehouse that we store aid for up to 5,000 families in. And recently, in the beginning of 2022, just before the war outbreak in Ukraine, there was a horrible typhoon that struck. Actually, it was over Christmas in 21, but we started the response in January. And the Shelter Box Philippines was able to assist 100,000 people in 90 days. So it's a very efficient way of branching out and having more than just fundraising affiliates, but having operational affiliates around the world. All right, impact monitoring and evaluation, a very important part. You know, what kind of difference are we making? We can say we sent 10,000 blankets, but what does that mean? And I'm going to use Burkina Faso as the example here. It's experienced one of the world's fastest growing displacement crises in 2022 due to years of boiling violence and extremism. They had 2 government coups in the same calendar year, which is pretty rare. Plus, they have drought and flooding conditions, both depending on what parts of the country. Our goal was to provide aid for 1,000 families. It included the shelters you see in the background, cook sets like she's using there, and other items as well. To give you a perspective of Rotary in Burkina Faso, there's 12 Rotary clubs and about 200 members. And the population of the country is 22 million people. So think about that in comparison to your district or mine. Post-distribution monitoring is comprised of surveys, focus groups, polling. It could include third-party review or third-party analysis. And really, I mean, the objectives to improve the shelter and living conditions, pretty basic. You get a little bit more involved with the indicators, making sure it was meeting their most pressing shelter needs and making sure they were satisfied. And those are really, really respectable numbers. But it's also an area where we could find where we could improve. In Burkina Faso, with the tents you saw we provided there, we found that they were not very easy to adjust the temperature. So we're going to improve upon that in our next project by providing ventilation areas in the upper and the lower to mimic what our tents are like, which seem to be very adaptive to keeping a little bit cooler in the extreme heat and a little bit warmer in the cold of night. And then we also, since COVID-19 struck, we've really integrated that as part of our monitoring. We don't want to do any harm. We don't want to spread it. And it's not that hard. Some masks, some soap, some wash basins to help mitigate its spread. In Burkina Faso, less than 1% of the population has received 2 doses of the COVID vaccine. So it's something that we like to track. In a lot of areas, they really don't even know a pandemic is as extreme as it has been around the world. So that's really a warning sign that it could crop up somewhere, as we've seen similar things with polio through the years. So to really learn more about, especially if you're new or if this is like, wow, I didn't know they were doing all this. We have case studies and photographs at assetbank.shelterbox.org. There are hundreds of them. They're all divided by country, and then within each country each year. There's some amazing information there. And of course, news and reports from our response work around the world can be found at shelterboxusa.org. That's our website here for our USA affiliate. We have over 800 hero clubs again last Rotary year. We did have sustained that for 2 years in a row now. We're really pleased with that. And I do want to acknowledge again that any donation helps us go further and reach more people, have greater impact. But hero clubs are really special. It's individual donations and club donations both. So maybe the club does a $500 donation, and the challenge is the individuals to come up with $500 from their own pockets, and it creates a little competition there. There's also some benefits like exclusive briefings and acknowledgement on our website. We'll throw things out on social media for you as well. We really appreciate our hero clubs. So with that, I'm done. If there's any questions or any time for questions, I could stick around after the meeting even if you'd like and answer them. So thank you so much for your time today.
Any questions, anybody? Thank you. Yeah. A very impressive organization, I have to say, and it looks like a lot of follow-up research is done to make things better and extremely efficient too. I love it. And
Well,
thanks,
thank
Bill.
you. You know, it just makes sense. I mean, it was started by a Rotary Club and really adopted by clubs and Rotarians all around the world. It's the secret sauce to our success is that.
Yeah, no, very well done. And thanks again. We'll be making a donation to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library in Shelter Box's name. And we very much appreciate you taking the time to be in our club today.
Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. Great group.
All right.
Do we have details on becoming a hero club?
Well, there is a question for you. Details about becoming a hero club.
Sure. We automatically track the donations. So once in a Rotary year, of course, so it's like day 7 of the Rotary year. You're already counting them down, I can tell. At that time, during the Rotary year, we just keep track of all the donations that come in from a club or individuals, and make sure you put your club name and district number helps, because there may only be one Lake Stevens, but there may be several around the country. I don't know. And then we keep track of that. And when you reach $1,000 in cumulative giving through a Rotary year, we'll send out certificates. We typically do it quarterly. We copy the district governor on it, which, you know, any prop for the club to the district governor is good. And we send that out quarterly, and it's a digital certificate, so you can post it on your websites. And then the exclusive briefings, we do those once or twice a year. And we just send out the invite list only to the hero clubs, and usually a response team member or one of our senior executives, Carrie Murray, for example, will present, and we'll give you some updates and some real deep dives on our work. And then we post your name on our website at shelterboxusa.org/hero. And you'll see a long, and even getting longer every year, which is great, long list of Rotary clubs that support us. That's about it for a hero club. I can't think of anything else other than different levels: 1,000 for bronze, 3,000 at silver, 5,000 at gold, and we're thinking about doing a 10,000 level because we're getting more clubs donating at that level, which is fabulous. So again, any donation helps. I don't want to try and exclude any club. Every dollar counts. So appreciate any help that you can throw our way.
Do you have fundraising templates and guidebooks and put together?
I didn't quite catch that one.
She's interested if you have fundraising guides or templates, just resources for fundraising.
Oh, we do. We have a wonderful, it's called Shine for Shelter Box, and we can send you supplies and stuff for that. We have an in-depth, I mean, everything you need to know to put on the event, everything from centerpieces that you print and make to the information that you could share, so you sound like, you know, well, not sound like you know what you're talking about, but you know, so you're sharing the most up-to-date information about our organization. I will send that to the contacts I have from the club. I'll send a link to that, and that's one of the most repeated fundraisers that clubs put on our behalf. But you can do anything. I've done bowling for boxes. And just run a bowling tournament. Why bowling? Because it's family friendly and it's a lot cheaper than golf. So, you know, any way you want to do it, we have an events manager and myself who'd be more than happy to build web pages for you and help make it a success. Because as you know, in Rotary, we just want everyone in our organization to be successful.
I think we should do batting for bags since it's baseball.
I like that. Yeah, it's good.
I'm thinking beer for every.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
We might have a contest going.
Well, with that, everybody okay if we bang
the bell.
Number one for you.
I think I did too. I did it last Friday too.
Didn't count.
Oh, okay.
You weren't president.
No, I was at the end of the installation.
Oh, at the end of the, yeah.
All right, see y'all later.
Thank
So
you.
let's-